This
constructor.
conference will now be recorded.
The last one was copy constructor, so you just gave the definition of that. No examples yet.
Okay. So are you aware of this constructors classes, no, Supriya? By any chance?
Yes, sir. Kind of, not fully, but yes, yeah.
Okay, fine. Today we are going to start up with copy constructor. What is the definition I gave, ma? Rashmi?
Process of copying the values of other constructor to current constructor. And one more is it's a parameterized constructor which will take object of same class as parameter.
Correct. Okay. So here are the definitions. Let me proceed with the example of copy constructor. So what is meant by copy, ma, in general? From an original source, we will take a Xerox. Correct, right?
Yes.
From original source, we'll take Xerox. That means we need to have original source also with us. Then only copying is possible. Correct, right?
Yes.
If you don't have a original, how can you copy? Duplication is not possible. So here in the copy constructor, with copy constructor, you need to have one more constructor also in the program. Either it should be parameterized, otherwise it can be your default constructor also. Clear, right?
Okay.
Remember this point. Now, how that looks, how to perform the operation is what let me show you now. I think they are joining right now. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
I don't know who said the background noise is there, ma. Please mute it. Okay. Somesh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You are here for Java, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, fine. Sure.
Am I speaking to Rakesh right now or Sridhar?
Sridhar.
Hi, Sridhar. Hi. Sorry.
Okay, fine. We'll start it up. Already we have started this, no?
Okay, sure.
See, Rashmi and Somesh as well as Supriya. You just look into this particular screen. Could you please tell me how many objects are there for this copy constructor class?
CP and CP1.
And anything else, ma?
Let me see.
Only those two. Yeah, CP and CP1.
Okay, fine. Observe this one properly. We have got totally 3 objects: CP, CP1, CC. Okay. Now I am creating internally in the memory. It will be like this. One is CP, another one is CP1, CP, CC, right? Yeah. CC. 3 objects will be there internally in the memory. First, we will focus on this object. See, what we are doing, copy construct CP equal to new copy construct 10, 20. You know? Somesh, I think there is a background noise from your side. Please mute it. Yeah. So here what we are doing, copy construct CP equal to new copy construct 10, 20. here what I'm trying to do, I'm calling a constructor which will take two integer values as parameter. You can see here we have got a constructor which is taking two integer values. Okay. For this A, I'm supplying 10. For this B, I'm supplying 20. Is that clear?
Yes.
Now, so here class variable A. Class variable A is assigned with parameter A. Class variable B assigned with parameter B. So indirectly CP of A you will get 10, CP of B you will get 20. So in memory, A will be having 10, B will be having 20. Is that clear?
Yes.
Everyone, you can ping and say yes, not an
Yes.
issue. Okay. So one object is created. Now, as we have supplied 10 and 20 as parameter to this variable A and B, here I am supplying CP as parameter. You can see this object as parameter. So what is there in CP that will be exactly copied into CC. So what is there in CP that will be copied into CC. So A will be 10, B will be 20. Clear, right? Exactly
Yes.
copied into
Yes.
CC. Now, what is there in CC of A plus 1 that I am storing into this dot A? That means CP1 of A will get CC of A plus 1. So, A equal to CC of A plus 1. That is 11. B equal to CC of B plus 1. We are storing into CP1 of B. That is 21. So, finally, CP1 of A plus CP1 of B. Both will get added and it will be displayed. So in this case, you will get 10 plus 20, that is 30. In this case, 11 plus 21, that is 32 will be generated as a result. You can check it out. What happened? Okay, done?
Yes.
Now, if you observe this one properly, from this particular constructor, this particular object, we are copying to this one. You can see this object we are copying to this one, and this constructor is taking object of another constructor as parameter. That's why this is called as copy constructor. Is that clear?
Yes.
Any doubt so far?
No.
Okay. So this is what your constructors is all about. Now we will start up with next concept. Right on heading special keyword. Special keyword. Yeah. What is meant by special keywords? Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. These are the some of the keywords which are designed specifically for performing operations on various concepts. What are those concepts? How that special keywords will be there? All those things we are going to see right now. Clear, right?
Okay.
Okay. Rashmi, is that clear now?
Yes, sir.
I have a question over here.
Yeah.
I want to ask, when do we use constructors and why do we use the constructors?
Basically, constructors during object creation, if you need to initialize something.
Okay.
Got my point, right?
Okay.
During object, let's say we will take an example of database connections only. Got my point, right?
Okay.
whenever you are performing any operations with respect to your database, first connection has to be initialized.
Okay.
Connection has to be initialized in the sense you should supply your connection configuration details like connection username, password, connection URL, all those things we have to supply during object creation only.
Okay.
So those things during object creation with the help of constructors, we will pass it, we will initialize our connection, then you can perform the operation. Let's suppose if you forgot to initialize that thing during object creation, later you cannot perform operations, right?
Right.
But that's it. Whatever initializations what you need to do, that you will do it with the help of constructor. Just I have taken database as an example, database connection as an example. Any case, any initial step what you have to do, you will take the help of this particular step. Okay? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Now let's proceed with next one. That is special keywords. See, these are the keywords which are specially designed for specific purpose. What is that specific purpose? What kind of operations we can perform? All those things we are going to see right now. Before getting into that particular program, I mean special keywords, I wanted to ask you a question. What is meant by function overriding, ma'am?
Using the same methods and with the same method name and same parameters.
Same method
So
name and same parameters.
yeah, it's called overriding. Same
Okay.
method name and same parameters.
Okay. Could you please tell me the output for this program? Check this and tell me the program. I mean, I'm calling just display function. If I call display function, what will happen? Fast.
Yes. So its value is going to change, right? Its value, like initially, int geta is returning 10, but this overriding method has changed its value to 200.
The final result, what is the final result if I call display? Hama, Rashmi, Supriya, you
200
people are
plus
not
200.
200 plus 200. That is your final answer.
I'm not sure, sir. I'm just guessing.
Okay, done. Yours is done. Supriya,
Mm,
Rashmi.
Don't know, sir.
Okay, fine. Let me answer this. This is what called as overriding. Remember this one? Very important concept. See here. In the base class, this is our base class. We have got get a function. That base class we are deriving into this particular class.
Hello.
Already inheritance concept is done for my previous. You can ask me, Supriya and Somesh. Okay, no? Now, for derived class, we have got get a function and we have got this display function also. For derived class, I'm creating an object. I'm calling display function. Here, whenever you call display function, what is happening? It is calling get a. Whenever you call get a, as I said in our inheritance concept, first preference it gives for get a function which is nearby. It gives the preference for nearby function. Nearby in the sense, see, this get a is there in our own class. So first preference will be given to this one. So It is there here. Control will come to this. Initially, I have declared the variable and I have initialized it to 100. Later, I have updated the value to 200 and I have returned that particular a variable. So here, get a will return the value 200. So you'll get 200. So first time we got 200. Second time again I'm calling get a. How many other times you call? First preference will be provided to our own class. We will look for get a in our own class. If it is available, it will pick up from there. If it is not available, then by seeing this, it will go to base class. Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
So as here, we have got a function nearest to us. Every time, how many other times you are calling get a, that will pull that particular class function only. So you will get 400 as a result. This is what called as overriding.
Okay, sir.
Rashmi, Sindhu,
Yes, sir.
Somya, is that clear, ma'am?
Yes, sir. I can hear your voice.
Yeah, yeah. No. Other people. I'm
Okay,
asking.
sorry.
Sir, basically we provide these values over here, right? Int
Yes.
a is equal to 100, and then
Correct.
a is equal to 200. So it is we provide the values, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Rashmi,
Yes, sir.
clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Sindhu, Sindhu is not responding. Okay, fine. Let her take her own time. Yes. Okay, so this is what called as overriding. Whenever this overriding concept appears, how can you avoid this overriding? Is first thing. Even it is overridden, how can you access base class function is what second thing. Like this, some important terms we have to learn with the help of our special keywords. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So first thing, write down. Ready? Final.
Yeah.
Final. Final is a keyword. Final is a keyword which is meant for performing operations on three different levels of Java programs. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So it performs operations on three different levels. Write down what are those three different levels. First one.
Yes, sir.
If a class is declared as final, inheritance, derivation cannot be done.
Sir, you said derivation, right?
Yeah, inheritance, otherwise derivation cannot be done.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Next point. If a method is declared as final,
Sir, I have a question. You're asking us to write it down?
yeah, you just write it down now.
Oh, I'm
In my
sorry.
case, I'll dictate the definitions first, then I'll explain. You can write down. Otherwise, later you can hear the recordings also, not an issue.
So we will get the recording by today itself?
Tomorrow you'll get it now.
Or tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. So what I was saying,
If a method is declared,
yeah, if a method is declared as final, overriding will not be possible. Okay, now?
yes, sir.
Next, if a variable is declared as final, it will act as final variables. Okay, now?
Yes, sir.
So these are the three important things which happens with respect to our what you say final keyword. How this final will be used in three different layers. Let me show you right now. See, observe this one very carefully. Here, as this getA function is calling this getA only. How many other times you are calling getA? This getA only is getting invoked. Correct, right?
Yes, sir.
And that too here a variable, first it was 100, later it got changed to 200. If you don't want that variable to be updated, if you don't want the value to be changed, then what you can do is you just specify this variable as final. See, immediately you'll get error over here. Got my point, right?
Yes,
Everyone.
sir.
Yes.
Sir, then it has to be 100, right? Then A would be 100 because
Yes.
you don't want to
You
be
have
changed.
to remove this. If you remove this, it will turn as 100 only.
Okay.
Only one value we can assign. You cannot reassign the value for a variable if a variable is final. Remember this point. Okay, na?
Okay.
So first thing, that is the thing. Second thing is, see, my function which I have defined in the base class that got overridden in the derived class. I don't want to override my function. So in such cases, what you will do, you will mention this one as final. See, you will get error over here. Overriding cannot be done for a final function. Remember this point. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
If a function is final, nobody can define same kind of function in the derived class. That is what a rule. So either you have to remove this particular function, otherwise rename the function, otherwise you make it as overloading. What is overloading? I will show you later. Okay, na? Here, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that is second thing. If a function is mentioned as final, nobody can override that particular function. Okay. Third thing, if nobody should derive your class features, say here I am deriving this particular demo class features. If nobody should derive your class features, in the sense you mention that particular class as final, automatically you can get error over here. You can see you'll get error over here saying that overriding cannot be done. Clear, right? You have to remove this particular extends demo. Okay, now
Yes, sir.
everyone, Rashmi,
Yes.
Yes,
Sindhu,
sir.
Yes, sir.
yes. So in this way, our final keyword will help us in providing conditions. If it is a variable, we have got one condition. Function, we have got other condition. If it is a class, we have got other condition. Okay, now? Very important thing. In interview, they'll ask, how can we avoid a function from overriding in the sense with the help of this final only. you have to say. Clear, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we'll go for next concept. Write down heading static.
Sir, static keyword, right?
Yeah, static keyword.
Okay.
This one. Next keyword, that is static. Static is a keyword. Static is a keyword which performs operations on various levels of
What is it? Which performs?
operations
Okay.
on various levels of Java programming. Okay, na?
Okay, sir.
Next. First one. If a method is declared as static, a method is declared as static, it can be accessed outside the class. It can be accessed outside the class without creating an object for the class. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
That means if you just check it out, whatever the variables and functions are there within a class, if you need to access outside the class, what we used to do so far, we used to create an object for the class. Suppose if you don't want to create an object for the class, still you want to access it in the sense, you can take the help of this one. Let me show you how that looks. Where is that keywords? See, I have got one function within a class display. Correct, right? I've got one display function which is having one variable initialized to 10 and that is printing value 10 also over here. If you need to call that particular function, basically, previously what we used to do, let's say if static is not there, we used to create an object for the class in this way. With that object, we used to call display function. Correct, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Rashmi?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is where the accessibility comes into picture. Suppose if you want to access the function without creating an object, then you just make this one as static. Very important point. I'll comment this. No need of object only. Directly with the class name I can call it. See, class name dot the function name. Even this applies for your variables also. If a variable is static, directly with the class name you can call that particular variable. Okay, na? Now if I'm calling this display, this executes and generates the output for you in this way. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts so far?
No, sir.
Okay. So this is first uses what you have to know about static keyword. Next, what is the other uses we are going to see right now? Second point, you just make a note with respect to static.
Yes, sir.
If a block is declared as static, if a block is declared as static, then that will be the first block which gets loaded in the program life cycle. Clear, right? Which
Yes, sir.
gets loaded first in the program life cycle. Okay. So far, the concepts, whatever I have learned, as per those concepts, which will be loading first? Constructor. Correct, right?
Yes, sir.
The first block which will be loaded in our program is constructor. That is what we have learned so far. But from now onwards, what we are going to learn is, before constructor, we have got one concept which will get loaded first. That is what your static block is all about. Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Before constructor, if you need to load anything, then you can take the help of this static block. Okay? Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. How this static block will be there, how this will get loaded is what we are going to see right now. See, here, this is a program. I have got a static block. Static, and for this particular block, you will not be having any name, and nobody needs to call this. Nothing has to be done for this. Clear, right? Just a simple static block is there. Within that, let's say if you need to load any resources. So far I was saying, right, like loading the database connections, all those things. All those database connections, instead of doing in your constructor, as this static block is loading as a first step right now, you can do those things in the static block. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Everyone,
Yes.
let's
Can
make
you
them
say
do.
one more time?
See, so far we have learned the first block which will get loaded in our program is constructor. So all our initializations, we were dealing with our constructors so far. But from now onwards, I'm going to introduce one new concept, that is static block, where this is what the block in our program which will be loaded as a first block. Is that clear?
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir.
Then any initializations, any first step, first operations if you need to do, that you put it under static block from now onwards. Not now onwards, in upcoming also there is no other block which will get loaded before static block. First block, first statement which will get loaded is static only. Clear, Nama?
Yes.
Okay. Now static block is there. So whenever if I start my program execution, first static block will get executed. Then comes this one. See, here for this particular block, nothing is there. That's why this particular block is called as anonymous block. Write down if you want. The block without a name, a block without a name is called as anonymous block. Okay, na? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, this is what the block which gets loaded after your static block gets loaded. Remember this. After static block gets loaded, if you want to load any block in the sense, that is what your anonymous block. Then only your constructor will get loaded. You can check it out. See? First static block, then anonymous block, then constructor. The hierarchy will go in this particular fashion only. Now, you might ask a question. Why this particular types of blocks are needed in the sense? See, all the types of blocks at once we will not be using. In certain scenarios, I'll tell you one scenario where I have faced one question. The question is, can you write a program to load a database connection without using a constructor? That is first question. Second question is, without creating an object itself, how can you load a particular statement? Without creating an object itself, how can you print a particular statement? He has asked me a question. How can I answer? For that, answer is your static block. Got my point, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Like this, in many situations, wherever constructors won't come into picture, your static and anonymous blocks will come into picture and it will help you for performing various operations. Okay, now? Resmi and Sindhu.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Now, as you can see, here only static and anonymous, then constructor. This is what the hierarchy which it has followed. In the same hierarchy, you are getting the result. Later, if you want to call, you can call your function also. If you want to call, you can call your function also and you can perform function related operations also. That is again, that won't come as a first priority. That will come as a last priority. Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. This is what your static is all about. Static will help you in making your functions available outside the class without creating an object for the class. First thing. Second thing is to make any code to be loaded as a first code. We can take the help of this static. Remember this point. Next. Right on? Heading. Next one is super. Super. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we have finished two keywords. One is final, another one is static. Now write down super. Super is a keyword. Super is a keyword which is meant for performing operations which is meant for performing operations on variables, methods, and constructor levels in Java. Okay, now? Find it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Next point. If a function is specified with super, it looks for function from the base class only. It looks for function from the base class only. Okay now?
Yes, sir.
See, observe this one very carefully. I will go to where is this class examples. Say this function overriding only. I will take it up. Here, how many other times I am calling get a? It is calling this one only. Now, if I don't want to call my own class function, I want to call a function from the base class. See, this is overridden stage. Even after overriding, I want to call a function from the base class in the sense use super keyword.
Okay.
Whenever I specify super dot get a, this brass is not needed. Okay. Whenever I specify super dot get a, what this will do, it will look for get a function in the base class only. So this will pull the value get a, that is 10, and this get a, as we don't have super here, it looks for get a in its own class first. So this returns 200. So totally 210 will be printed over here. You can check it out. Clear, ma? Everyone.
Yes, sir.
Others, sir. What about others? They are not responding only.
Sir, what about this 100 over here?
100, it got updated with 200, Oma.
Okay, okay. Got it. Okay, thank you.
Rashmi,
Yeah,
Sindhu.
clear.
Yeah. So whenever it is overridden, if you need to call base class functions, remember base class functions, if you need to call, at the time this super keyword will help us a lot. That is first thing. Second thing is super with constructor. We are going to see. Let's say you have got a constructor. Yeah. See, we have got a constructor in the base class. Usually, when I was explaining about inheritance, I have mentioned that for base classes, we won't create objects. Correct, right? For base classes, we won't create objects. Why we won't create objects for base classes? Because we will be having less reusability. Got my point, right? If you create an object for the base class, the reusability will be less. The scope of using the functions will be less. So only we won't be creating object for base class. Is that clear? Everyone.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Now, here you just observe this example. In the base class, we have got two variables. We have got one constructor. Now, how we can initialize that particular constructor parameters if we don't have object for that class is what the question right now. Correct, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, to answer that only, this super keyword will help us. Now, how that super keyword will help us, let me show you. See, for the derived class, I'm creating an object, and this is calling derived class constructor. This is calling derived class constructor. What this derived class constructor is doing? First preference. Remember, whenever you are using super keyword, first preference you should give the preference for super keyword only. Okay? Yes or no?
Yes.
Whenever super keyword is there in your program, first preference should be given for super keyword only. That means you should call base class constructor first, then only other operations you should continue. No, first you will continue with your operations, then I will use super keyword, in the sense that will raise an error. Remember, you should give respect to your base classes. So here first I have written super 10, 20. Okay, na? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Whenever I specify super with 10, 20, what control will look for is, does a base class have a constructor with two integer parameters? Is what first check it will do. So first control will go to base class. Yes, the base class is there. We have got a constructor over here that is taking two parameters. Okay, 10 will be assigned to m, 20 will be assigned to n. M value will be assigned to its variable a, n value will be assigned to its variable b. Both a plus b it will perform, it displays the result, that is 30. Then comes this one, derived class will be printed. So you can check it out. First 30, then derived class will be printed. Okay,
Okay.
now? So like this, whenever if you need to call base class components, base class functions, whatever it is, you can take the help of this super keyword. Okay, no?
So arguments in base class, to call the arguments in the base class.
Yes. To call the variables in the base class, to call the constructors in the base class, this helps you to perform. Okay,
Sir,
no?
how did we get this derived class over here?
Here we have mentioned after base class operations, then derived class only will start working.
Okay.
Here, Noma, everyone.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes. Sindhu, Sindhu is not responding only. Okay, fine. Right. Next one. Heading.
Yes, sir.
Next heading. We'll go for abstract. Abstract. What is meant by abstract? Hmm.
Hello.
Yeah, what is meant by abstract? Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is
Yes,
meant by
sir.
abstract? Resmi.
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Right on.
Which is used for abstraction, sir.
Yeah, what is that abstraction? That is what I want, sir.
Okay, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Abstract is a keyword. Abstract is a keyword which performs operations on classes, performs operations on classes and function levels. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Yes. If classes and function levels, first one. If a class is declared as abstract, it will be the base class as well as it should contain at least one abstract method in it. It should contain at least one abstract method in it. Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Next, abstract classes cannot be instantiated. Instantiated means you cannot create an object for that particular class. Okay, na? You cannot create object for that particular class. Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So that is first important thing. Next point. Abstract methods of abstract classes need to be overridden in the derived class. Yeah, right?
Yes, sir.
So the basic thing is abstract class will be there in our programmings where we will be using abstract classes, and next concept I'll teach you, that is interface. Abstract classes and interfaces we will be using very highly in our projects. What is the purpose of that abstract classes, interfaces, how many ways we can write that, and what are the rules you need to follow with respect to those abstract classes, interfaces, all those things in tomorrow's session we are going to see. Clear, right?
Okay. Okay, sir.
Where these concepts are very important concepts, because in high level projects for enhanceability, reusability, and specific condition specifications will take the help of this abstract class and interfaces. So these concepts you need to be very careful. Okay, na?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, just a second.